Okay guys, so here we are with the Atari 2600. I just picked this one up along with a boxed 7800 a couple of weeks ago. And this one turns out to be an original Heavy Sixer. And I thought we'd take some time and go through and clean it up. The Atari 2600 is a really special unit for me. I grew up as an Atari guy. I always had an Atari at home. This was not my first one. I actually had an Atari 600 XL before we had an Atari 2800. My father got one of these a few years later. Very early 80s we got one. And I don't remember what kind I had back then, but I've always wanted to get my hands on another original Heavy Sixer, so this is going to be fun. Now, the nice thing is that this thing is just cosmetic. It actually works an absolute treat. It works beautifully, but it is rather crusty, as you can see. It's kind of nasty. But so we're going to take this thing apart and I'm going to go through it. We're going to clean it up. And I'm going to kind of walk you through with these ones some of what I do to really clean up a machine, make it look really good. So the first thing we're going to do is take it apart. Now, these we can leave for a second. Let's do these first. There's a couple of large screws around here. Magnetize my bit. A little more. There we go. Now this work surface, I just happen to have it spare from my old shop. This is a static free work surface that I can work on. I do have a static port up there that I can attach myself to, but I don't bother. For doing smaller work, something I have found is actually really helpful is if you go visit a printer shop, like an old mom and pop shop that has offset presses, you can contact them and see if they have any dead blankets for offset presses. They're pretty close to the same as this, but they're a little bit smaller. They're quite expensive to buy, but if you get a hold of a lot of different mom and pop shops, they might have one sitting off handy somewhere that they'd be willing to give you for cheap, if not free. No guarantees, obviously, but it's worth a shot. All right, now these two actually hold, from the inside, they hold the board in place, but we're going to take these out now and put them off to the side. Put those there. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of yucky. Ew! Yeah, it's gross down in here. It's not that bad. It's just a lot of dirt and grime down in here. So, let's go ahead and take this out. Now, this is the RF cable. It just attaches right here. We'll go ahead and pull this out for now. Now it looks like this one's actually held in place by a grommet. Now look at that. Yeah, this one's going to get a nice bath. Nice. There we go. Okay, now that's out. We're ready to do that. And this is out. We're ready to do this. Now, one thing I want to show you, along here, a lot of people just leave this in here. If you're going to work on these, take them apart and clean them, take this out. There's a couple of reasons, but I'll show you the other one later. But it just has little tabs in here. Just push on them. And this will pop out. Yeah, I had an Atari 2600 growing up, like I said. All my friends had one. A few years later, they started moving into NESs. A lot of my friends also had, we had 8 bits. Like I said, I had a 600 XL. I later had an 800 XL. I had an 800 and a couple of others that over the years that I had. But as far as game system wise, this was my first. And then, my friend Shane had one. Troy had one. Steve actually had a Tandy. Troy, I think, was the first one to actually have an NES. And then my friend Zach actually had a TI-99, but he was weird. Nobody played with him. I liked to play with him because he had a hell of a nice collection of GoBots. He was a good kid. I liked him. All right, so we've got this taken apart, and I do want to do around here. I want to repaint. But sitting and doing that with a brush and getting it just right kind of gets difficult. So I'm going to show you a trick that I've got for that to make this look really sharp. So now that we've got this part, I'm going to put this off to the side for just a second. Put it on my laptop. And if we look on here, I think mostly this just means a bit of a cleaning. I do want to dive in here real quick. Yeah, you know what? Everything doesn't look too bad down here. Okay, so if we're going to take this off, we've got 2 screws right here. And we got, oops, careful, don't do that. We got them down here. These off to the side for the moment. Let's take a look. Yeah, you know what? Everything's just a little dusty. We're going to take a nice brush and kind of clean through it. But everything's really not too bad. And what I'm especially surprised with is that my foam for the top of the switches is actually pretty darn decent shape. They're not completely crumbling and falling apart. They've actually still got some spring to them. A lot of times these things turn into, communion wafers after time. We'll give these a quick little wash while we're doing the others, just kind of make them look nice. Okay, let me grab one of my soft brushes. I've got them down in the toolkit down here. Of course I can't find them right now, that figures. Stacks of those brushes everywhere, and as soon as I need one for filming, I can't find it. There it is. Okay, so we're just going to go through a little dusting, kind of clean everything off. Normally I would use a can air or a line air, compressor air or something, but I don't have any of that right now, so we're going to do it this way. It's really not bad. It's kind of in decent nick for considering. Yeah, everything looks all right. The potentiometer looks good. This is the color adjustment potentiometer for when you're adjusting it. If you've had to do some video work, twisting this a little bit will adjust your colors on the game. But let's take a look at the other side. I don't see anything really as far as any water damage or anything, which is a little shocking, just to be totally honest. Give up here a little bit of a clean just with some 99% IPA. A little bit of a residue up here, we just clean off a little bit. But on inspection of everything, I think everything actually looks pretty okay. Yeah. And like I said, I mean, when I was testing this thing a handful of days ago, it actually plays really, really nice. Better than some of the others I've dealt with. Yeah, this is where the little receipt sticker goes. It usually has the date and stuff on there. I'm not going to reattach it, but I will probably just leave it in the case when we're done. Because why not? Okay. Now, one thing I want to do, 99% IPA alcohol. Please only use that when you're working on this stuff. Please. It gets kind of crusty and nasty down in here. I'm going to give it a little bit of a clean, just with a soft brush, IPA. Make it look a little nicer than it did. I remember when I got my 2600, we got Pac-Man, Combat, Asteroids, a couple of others. Lock and Chase, one of my favorites, Lock and Chase. I don't think I actually currently have Lock and Chase. I need to get it. But I remember that one specifically because my mother actually used to play that. My mother doesn't play video games. Ever did. My dad and I were quite big fans of that. Blueprint, Word Zapper, which I do have up there. I'm still tracking down a Blueprint, but I'm looking up on my wall here. Yeah, playing basketball, Warlords. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. So Asteroids and I think Word Zapper were kind of they were my go-to games back then. Okay, I think this is okay. I think we're actually completely fine here. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to put it back right now and not worry about it. And these two down here. I had a couple of people message me about this machine saying, you know what you should do, Mike, is you should do the video mod on this one. Which I a lot of times do. I've done quite a few of those. But I've decided not to with this one for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's not often I get my hands on a heavy sixer. And I like to keep it stock as possible. Number two, it plays absolutely beautifully. I mean, why adjust it? It plays absolutely gorgeous. These switches we're going to clean up a little bit later, but for the moment we're going to go away from this. I'm going to take all of these parts for the body and we're going to go give it bath time. Okay guys, here we are in my kitchen. Sorry it took me a minute. I had to do my dishes. Didn't want to show you all my dirty dishes like aminal. Alright, so I even bought a new brush for it. Bath time! I'm just using hot water and a little bit of no-name soap. Really all you need. Just give it a really good scrubbing. My wife's angry that I used the sink for this rather than a tub somewhere or one of my totes. But it's like, you know what? If me getting to use the sink to clean an Atari for a little bit means you get all your dishes done, I call that a fair trade, don't you? These stickers on the back of this are actually reasonably resilient. I was planning on recreating it anyway, but I don't know if I'll have to. Cool. Now, I had planned on putting this outside, but it's absolutely pissing rain outside right now. So that's not going to happen. I need an idea. What should I do? Huh. No! I'm Gary. Okay, so things are drying. This is pretty much dry. And I want to touch this up, but rather than sitting there with paint and going on it and getting it everywhere, we're going to do something a little different. I've made a very rough outline on a thick couple of pieces of card that, yeah, let's give this a shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make myself a little pile. Now what I'm using here is the apple barrel colors. This one happens to be outrageous orange, 21961E, outrageous orange. I usually prefer to use pumpkin orange from their same line, but my pumpkin orange has gone on vacation somewhere and has not left a forwarding address. So we're going to use this. Now, I like using these. I use these all the time in my pinball days because even after inflation and everything else, these have gone all the way up to 59 cents a bottle. So, I think I can absorb that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a really thick line everywhere. At one point I had actually considered dropping, like $100 bill and going over to Walmart and buying every color imaginable when I was doing pinball machines. But I did not do so. Yes, we're laying it on nice and thick. Because some of you who have tried this, or tried painting those and getting them to look right, you know what the feeling is like. It's like, it looks like a pumpkin sneezed all over your Atari on the top, and you got to go through and clean it up, and it's not bloody worth it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use an old printing method. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, I'm just going to push down. Better, not quite there, hold on. We're getting there, hold on. That looks really good. I'm actually really happy with that. There's a couple of spots where I want to. It's not perfect. It's not bad. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and put this back together now that we've got the bath time done. I did go ahead and clean the switches a little bit too. What I did was I actually just used a little bit of alcohol and a Scotch-Brite. That seemed to do the trick. There's a couple last little things I'd like to do that I will show you as we are going. But for the moment, let's go ahead and get this thing back together. Oh, wait. Before we do this, there's one other thing I forgot about that we need to do. I'm going to put this back in. I did clean the cord as well. I just took a Scotch-Brite and some IPA and gave it a few drag-throughs, and it seemed to do the trick. put this back in place. Now, I did take the paint off that I had put on here. I'm going to put it back on later once I actually do track down the color that I want to put on there. It just didn't look quite right. So I took it back off, and I'm going to go get another thing of the pumpkin orange. Oh, the other thing I did give these a little bit of a clean. Need to make sure we put these back in. And they are beautiful. I have shown in other videos how to make these, so you can go check out one of those other ones, but they're not that hard to do. I was just really lucky pretty much all around with this particular machine. I remember we'd go over to Troy's house and we'd play some glorious Pac-Man for a while, and then we'd go back outside and we'd play really dangerous, stupid games and stuff until the bats came out, or until the lights on the street lights started to come on. I mean, it was the early 80s. So it was a different time for playing back then. You went out and your parents were grateful for you to be gone from the house until such time as you were legally required to show your face again. Okay, back underneath. Okay, there we go. Now, as you can see, there's what looks like a little bit of still, scuffiness and stuff. And when you finished a really good cleaning, there's a few things you can do if you need to take care of any little spots like that. Just soft brush, little IPA, get in there, give them one more little brush in case there's any guff you might have missed when you were cleaning. There's a little mark here. What I do, give it that, and then go in with my black stick. Go back in with the IPA. Better. Now, if you want to make it, like, kind of finish making it pop and make it look really good, if you're going to take pictures of it to put it up online or something like that, if you're restoring it like I am. This is automotive polish cloths. These are great for dashboards and for plastics, leathers. And what I like to do is just give it one of those. And there we go. Man, it's not 100% perfect, but is a darn sight better than where it was earlier today. I'm very happy with how that looks. And I'm going to be getting this thing, as soon as I finish around here, I'm going to photograph this thing, get this thing ready to go up on sale on my Mercari store. Also, as soon as I finish the joysticks. These are the joysticks that came with it. As you can see, they're not original joysticks by any means. These are secondary. They do not work very well at all, and of course missing these. And this is one that has the 6 tabs in it. I have a spare one that I pulled off another one that I can do some measurements off of. I am actually, in fact, working on an STL file so that I can actually potentially work on printing these. Who knows how that experiment's going to go. I mean, I've been playing around with TPU, flexible 3D printing, so, you know, we'll see. But I'll do something later with these controls. But for now, I think this is looking pretty all right. I'd buy it. I did buy it, and it was in a lot worse shape than I did. But I'd pay $80-100 for that, wouldn't you? Pretty happy with that. Let's plug it in and make sure I didn't royally bone anything up. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this thing's all set. I'm getting obsessed. Okay, so channel 3, I do have an adapter on the back of this TV. This is a mystery game I picked up from my buddies over at Numbskull. We have no idea what it is. Parker Brothers, so it could be Kubert, it could be Frogger, who knows? I mean, it might be Empire Strikes Back, but who knows? And let's see. It's Empire. Yeah, and look at that. There's pretty much no flicker or noise on the screen either. This thing's actually in pretty nice shape. Oh, I doubt it. But I think that's looking pretty good. Yeah, so yeah, we'll work on some more joysticks to go with this later, and we'll get it up for sale. But that's my little tips and tricks on how to get these things cleaned up. If you have any questions, please let me know. And then see you again on the next video soon.